Hello everyone, this is the infographic for our researcher batch. The company we chose for this project is Starbucks. Starbucks Corporation is an American coffee company and coffee house chain. Starbucks was founded in Seattle, Washington in 1971. As of November 2016, it operates 23,768 locations worldwide, which means they're a pretty known firm worldwide. Starbucks is focusing mainly on three things, which are coffee, customer relationships, and convenient. Starbucks is focusing on the quality of their coffee. They have very particular process which will make their coffee to have higher quality than other. They are focusing on customer relationships, also making connections with their customer and treating their customers like a friend. They are also focusing on satisfying each and every one of their customers. Lastly, they are also focusing on convenience of interior and employees' attitude so people can feel relaxed and come to Starbucks again. Since Starbucks products are mostly involving coffee, we decided to research about the production and consumption of coffee in Vietnam 30 years ago. Vietnam's coffee bean production was only 0.1%, but now Vietnam is producing 20% of coffee beans in the world. As according to the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, total production of coffee bean last year was about 16 million tons. As the production and export of the coffee beans in Vietnam increases, the consumption of coffee beans are increasing. In 2005, the consumption of coffee beans per person was only about 0.43 kg, but in 2015, it has increased to 1.38 kg per person, which increased about 3.2 times in 10 years. This means Starbucks has opportunity to have more customers.
Starbucks have a price that might be considered expensive to some people in Vietnam. Therefore, we decided to research about the income rate in Vietnam and how it is doing. Vietnam has increasing income rates and it is still increasing. In 2014, the income rate was 4,119,000 Vietnam dong per month, and in 2016, it has increased to 5,082,000 Vietnam dong per month.
The income has increased about 25% compared to 2014. This means Vietnamese are earning more money, and earning more money leads to more spending. This can be an opportunity for Starbucks' success in Vietnam. Starbucks is open from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. We interviewed an employee and we found out that customers usually come with friends early in the morning. They often come with their colleagues because often it is time when they are going to work. They usually buy takeaway or buy for their friends at work. We also asked what time they have the most customers, and it was usually at noon. People usually come to Starbucks at lunchtime from around 11:30 to 2 p.m. Because of this, Starbucks are launching a new lunch set so that they can have more customers coming to their shop for that. Also, we noticed that from around 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., it is very crowded because that is when students are out from school and people coming home from work. They usually come to Starbucks after school to relax and bring their group of friends to chat and enjoy some coffee or snacks.
To find out the market segmentation that Starbucks focuses on, we did an observational research. To do that, we observed and recorded how many customers came in and bought their products during their busiest hour from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Also, as we observed, we noticed that the majority customers who come to Starbucks are females, and most of the customers are above the age of 19. But also there are a lot of customers who are young as well, like students. Also, so it's not wrong if if Starbucks are focusing on making products that can satisfy young customers. Also, we observed how many local and non-local customers come during these hours. We were surprised by the data we got because we expected Starbucks to have more foreigner customers than Vietnamese customers. But actually, the amount of local and non-local customers were pretty equal, and during that time, that they were even more Vietnamese customers than foreign customers. As you can see in this diagram, 56.76% of the customers are local customers, and 43.24% of the customers are foreign customers. Overall, from this observational research, Starbucks should focus on making products satisfying for female customers, the customers above the age of 19 years old, and also Vietnamese customers. After all of this research we've done, we're trying to figure out what is the target market of Starbucks. From looking at Starbucks shop around Hanoi, it is pretty obvious that they're targeting foreigners and also customers who work and study. We know this for a fact because firstly, we look at Starbucks layout. They have long tables which students can work on. They also have Wi-Fi which you can get when you buy a product from Starbucks. By interviewing customers, we found out that they really like the Wi-Fi network, which works really fast. Also, they do not allow smoking in the store, which tells us a little bit about the target market because usually cafes in Vietnam allow smoking, but they have also made a space outdoor for people who want to smoke. Also, the outdoor space is found good for customers who have kids and come with their families because they find it nice that their kids can go outside and ride their bikes or on a skateboard outside.
Starbucks sells not only coffee but also other drinks and snacks. There are some customers who come to Starbucks only to drink hot chocolate or tea, as you can see in this donut. As we interviewed some of the customers from Starbucks, most of them ordered macchiato, latte, or frappuccino. Overall, the percentage of customers who consume coffee in Starbucks were about 71.34%, and the others usually order tea or hot chocolate. From the interview we had with a Starbucks employee, we found out that Starbucks focus a lot at the young customers who are interested in the frappuccino and often buy them. By knowing their customer preference, Starbucks started making more different variations of frappuccino every season, and this attracts more young customers to buy their frappuccinos and increase their sales. Also, if we look at the menu in Starbucks shops around Hanoi and even in their brochures, we can see that the menu is in English, not Vietnamese. It kind of shows that Starbucks' target market is mostly on foreign customers who probably know more about Starbucks, since Starbucks is extremely popular and also are everywhere around the world. Now we look at the unique selling point of Starbucks. We want to know what makes Starbucks different from other firms and what makes them special. After knowing more about Starbucks, we recognize that in Starbucks, customers can customize their drinks and add their preferable beverages or ingredients to their order. The baristas are satisfying each and every customer different needs. For example, 2 customers buy cappuccino, but they buy each of their cappuccino in different ways. And the baristas are able to make different cappuccinos with different ingredients in each of the cappuccinos. We can't really see this kind of service in other coffee shops such as Highlands Coffee in Hanoi, which makes Starbucks a really unique coffee shop. Also, sometimes there are customers who come to Starbucks regularly, which allows the baristas and the customer know each other and become friends, which is one of the special things about Starbucks as well. There are a lot of factors that Starbucks have that really keep and increase their customer loyalty. Starbucks made a Starbucks card that probably increased their customer loyalty. They made a card where people can get rewards if they buy a certain amount of Starbucks products. This made the customer to want to buy their products often so that they won't be able to get a reward. By making a membership card like this, they could stop their customers from buying products from Starbucks competitors. The customer can buy their usual order. They are able to choose different ingredients for their coffee so it's customized, and they can buy the usual order often and wouldn't want to buy the other competitors because why buy other drinks when you can buy your own favorite drink and get rewards if you buy it often? From what I had said earlier, their customizable drinks, which is their selling unique points, can be one of the aspects that could increase their customer loyalty as well, since they are able to drink and the specific drink that satisfy their own individual need. Therefore, they can always go to Starbucks to get them. When we interview one of the employees at Starbucks, we ask him who are the main competitors of Starbucks in Hanoi. He said that it is hard to determine a competitor since other firms have their own working style, from their decoration to their skills. It's all different from Starbucks. And also, he said that their focus on customers are different. Therefore, it's hard to compare and determine who is Starbucks' competitors. But there is one thing that can identify the competitor of Starbucks. According to the employee, it depends on the location of the shop. For example, the Starbucks in Tejo. This Starbucks is in the same street as one of the most known coffee shop, which is Highlands Coffee. Therefore, Highlands Coffee might be one of the biggest competitor of that certain Starbucks. Starbucks define its competitors by location surrounding them, not just by the whole city. We also want to know which firm or shops that could possibly be the competitors of Starbucks, not only by asking the employee of Starbucks, since it might be biased. So we decided to find out the possible competitors by asking the customer which shop would they go to if they won't go to Starbucks. Majority of them said Highlands Coffee, but at the same time, there's a surprising response from the customers. Also, the majority of them said that they would go to Chat Time, which is a bubble tea shop. This shows that the bubble tea business might be competing with coffee shops like Starbucks and Highlands Coffee in the future. Because the employee of Starbucks said that they divide their possible competitors by location, we decided to compare the location of Starbucks with the location of the competitors' outlets. So, this is the map of Starbucks, and this is a map of Highlands Coffee outlets. As you may see here, the Starbucks of Tejo, as what I said before, it is in the same street as Highlands Coffee. And also, in some places, such as this part of the city, they have Highlands Coffee here, and also not far from there, they have also Starbucks around here. So, Highlands Coffee do compete with Starbucks a lot since their distance from each of their outlets are not that far from each other, and also the number of outlets can possibly define whether they're competitors or not, because as you may see, Starbucks have only 6 outlets, while Highlands Coffee have a much bigger amount of outlets in Hanoi, which is 35 outlets. Therefore, Starbucks might want to be aware of Highlands Coffee, who is growing. As for chat time, I don't think that it can hurt Starbucks as much, because since it only has 5 outlets and it's not a coffee shop. But there are other bubble tea businesses such as Ding Tea and Gongcha, which are successful these days and attract a lot of Vietnamese and some non-local customers. So bubble tea businesses might grow more in the future and might hurt coffee businesses or shops, including Starbucks. But at the same time, when we go back to the donut above, the bigger common response of our question was that they wouldn't go anywhere else except for Starbucks. This shows that Starbucks have a really high customer loyalty and brand image, and they probably achieve their target markets and keep attracting more customers. Now, we look at whether Starbucks is niche marketing or mass marketing. As we all may know, niche marketing is focusing on producing goods that is clearly made for specific segments of a market. It's basically the opposite of mass marketing, where the firm focuses on satisfying a specific need for some people. The price is usually higher than other products, and the firm doesn't sell the products everywhere if a firm is doing niche marketing. The products that are made in niche marketing also suits for some people, but not all. Based on what I've learned from about Starbucks and niche marketing, Starbucks in Hanoi can be considered as a niche market. Starbucks can be found really everywhere around Hanoi, and it has a premium price that might not be for all people. It also focuses on satisfying their customers' specific needs, and there are only a couple of Starbucks places around Hanoi. Starbucks also need a specific needs to make most of their products, since they make good quality coffee, and sometimes customers have different needs and the workers should be able to do different things. The Starbucks in America might be considered as a mass marketing since they can be found almost everywhere in many cities. But in this case in Hanoi, Starbucks matches with niche market characteristics more than mass marketing.
From all the research we did, we are able to apply SWOT analysis to Starbucks. First, we look at the strength of Starbucks. Starbucks has a very strong brand image, which will attract people to buy their products and make people think that Starbucks has good products. Since they are pretty popular for their high quality coffee, as a result, the sales and profit will increase and help the firm to achieve their goal of the firm. Also, since they have a good brand image, they are able to increase their price as well and still have a lot of customers. For the location, most of the Starbucks are located in very good places around Hanoi. They can be found near or in malls that have a lot of visitors, and also in places that are surrounded by residents such as the one in Doi Ho, a district which contains a lot of foreigners. Therefore, Starbucks are able to get a lot of customers to consume their products. Also, Starbucks have a lot of positive factors. There are negative factors that Starbucks could improve on as well. Starbucks has high prices for products, which is expensive for Vietnamese to buy and drink them usually. So, Vietnamese people buy them very rarely, and most of the people buy coffees from other coffee shops that have lower prices such as Highlands Coffee or Trong Nguyen. Also, Starbucks menu are not very adapted to Vietnamese cultures and preferences, and it's more like that they are more focused on foreign customers with coffees that are popular in the Western cultures such as latte, macchiato, and frappuccinos. These can be the reason for why there are not very much Vietnamese customer in the Starbucks, because there might be some Vietnamese customers who like Vietnamese traditional coffee more than coffee that are popular in Western cultures.
There are some things that can be an opportunity for Starbucks, like when we said at the beginning the production and export of coffee beans in Vietnam increases the consumption of coffee beans. are increasing. In 2005, consumption of coffee beans per person was only about 0.43 kilogram, but it has increased about 3.2 times than 10 years ago. Which means that now there are more people who consume coffee in Vietnam. Also, Vietnam has increasing income rates and it's still increasing. The income rate has increased about 25% compared to 2014. And this means Vietnamese are earning more money, and earning more money leads to more spending. And with enough money, they might be able to buy lots of products from Starbucks. There are also some threats as well that could hurt Starbucks in Hanoi. Compared to Highlands Coffee and Trung Nguyen, Starbucks has quite higher price for the coffee. Starbucks costs around 80,000 Vietnamese dong, about $3.6, which while local stores cost around 15,000 to 30,000 Vietnamese dong, about $0.64 to $1.5. And just because they are cheaper, it doesn't mean they have bad quality of the products. Highlands Coffee and Trung Nguyen has cheap and nice quality products. Also, Starbucks has waited a long time until their product comes out, about 10 minutes, while other coffee shops have a short waiting time. Highlands Coffee and Trung Nguyen Coffee usually take less than 3 to 5 minutes until the product comes out. The bubble tea business, such as Chat Time or Ding Tea, might hurt Starbucks business in Hanoi as well. Bubble tea has been popular in Hanoi these days, and based on a survey that we did, some people said that if there were no Starbucks, they would go to places that have bubble tea and consumer their products. These could be threats for Starbucks in Hanoi.